I suppose it was. He truly felt bad for his actions in the past. With a slight nod, I hand him the scabbard, and he smiles.
Thank you, Seer. Stand back. This could get dangerous.
Doing as instructed, I stand there and watch him act. I need to back against the wall, since the pain is still so intense. Without spiritual energy inside him, the blade would kill him quickly. Glad that he thought it was a worthy sacrifice. Freeing the spirits and destroying the honor guard in the tunnels, the tables would be easily turned. We come back from this defeat. He hesitates.
So I guess this is it.
He closes his eyes.
I'm sorry, everybody. I hope you can learn to forgive me. In your final moments, know the triumvirate will fall.
I do forgive you, though. I see him take the blade out of the scabbard. But after that, I only see white. That blinding light. Grizz grunts, clearly overpowered by the blade. The ground begins to shake even more. It's worried some, since we're in a cavern. If it caved in, that would be the end.
You're free now. And so am I.
The light slowly subsides, and my eyes start to adjust. When they do, I see Grizz dead on the ground, clutching the blade. The idol starts to flicker, light slowly growing dim. Was it over? I slowly walk over to him, but the tremors continue. With a violent shake, I'm thrown on the floor. Crawling over, I do my best to reach the blade. Would the honor guard fall? Was this truly the end of this nightmare? I hope that's the case as I arrive at the blade. Stabbing it into the ground, I slowly use it to help myself up. It's hard because of the tremors. I almost lose my balance. But with enough effort and strength, I'm finally back at my feet. It doesn't overpower me like before. This time I expect different. Like Grizz said, bends to the will of the wielder. Everything has changed. Put the scabbard back on, but I hold on to the sword with a slight grin. I'm in control of it now. Grizz's icon keeps popping in and out like a glitch. It's very distracting in this moment. I'll try to ignore it. I stand there using the blade as a crutch. With the ground shaking so violently, it's hard to stand up. I'll need to go back to the atrium. They need to know about this.
No! What have you done?
Sylvie charges into the room, catching me completely off guard. He stands there panting, looking at the idol and how it flickers. With a grunt of rage, he starts running at me, ready to attack. Because of the trembling earth, however, he stumbles a bit. I use it to my advantage and jump out of the way. Landing with a quick roll, I back to my feet. We circle around each other, both hesitant to attack. I hold out the blade, as if to threaten him.
There's so much you don't know.
He smirks and lunges forward to attack me. I hold out the blade to guard myself, but I'm not sure what happens next. With the snap of his fingers, mid-lunge, the blade suddenly vanishes from my hands. A few minutes later, it rematerializes in his. I don't have enough time to brace myself, it's already too late. 1 minute later, I'm on the floor, with Sylvie on top of me. So he can wield it, just like the vision showed me. Gripping the blade in one hand, he uses the other to punch me. Repeatedly in my chest, causing the wound to open more and bleed. I kick and scream in agony, trying my best to withstand his harsh blows. He's smart. Soon enough, the plane is too much to fight back. I can only squirm and wince underneath him, enduring the assault. The cavern starts to crumble and pieces falling from the ceiling.
There's no one here to save you, Seer. Your life is mine, and the rebellion is no more.
Smirking, he lowers the blade to my neck.
May the Triumvirate reign eternal.
I use all my strength to reach up and grab the blade. Trying to push it away, I realize there's almost no point. But soon after, the blade retracts to both of our touches. Another flash of white light engulfs the entire room. The pressure is relieved from my neck and I hear Sylvie struggle. Just like Grizz said, the blade reacts to the will of the wielder. But whose will was stronger? I raise up my other hand to grab the blade as well. I close my eyes and focus with every fiber of my being. Spirits, please do something! Save me! Save us all! The light subsides and I see Sylvie looking down at me in shock. I can see the horror in his eyes, but I have no idea what just happened. Perhaps the blade gave him visions, like it did for me back in Valenorth. He panics and throws the blade on the ground.
So it is true. The spirit realm is...
Slowly standing up, he takes a few steps back. Looking down in my eyes, I can see sadness within him. So many conflicting emotions, all in the span of a few seconds. He scoffs and turns it back to me.
Remember my mercy, Seer. Next time, you won't be so lucky.
Mercy? To my complete shock, he simply runs away. I tilt my head to the side and watch him leave. The blade rests beside me, so I reach for it. But any hope of salvation is quickly lost. It's over. As soon as Sylvie leaves the room, it starts to cave in. Rubble and debris block the exit, leaving me trapped inside. I look over at Damek's lifeless body and start to cry. My wounds bleed profusely, and my vision slowly wanes. With my final moments, I grip the blade and pray for help. But before I slip away into nothingness, that help never comes. Ulrich and Pro stand to back, destroying the honor guard with ease. The pirates, on the other hand, keep Shane and Holland occupied. They were standing to come back from this. They could have survived.
Another one down. Come on, Ulrich, pick up the pace. If you lose this, you'll never hear the end of it.
Ulrich takes down 4 suits of armor with one swing of his sword.
Oh, we're keeping count. Then I think Alex and his crew are winning. But at least now we know who Damek chose.
They look over at Alex, who fights off Holland and Shane. He's an expert swordsman, one of the most impressive in the world. Moments later, him and his crew have the enemy surrounded. Holland and Shane pant heavily, worn out from the intense fight. But they look around at the fallen honor guard, realizing they're outnumbered. The initial strike was devastating, but the rebellion was slowly bouncing back.
Where's Sovi?
I think he's gone to the idol.
Then that means...
Before he can finish talking, the ground starts to shake. Everyone is caught off guard, stumbling around.
It does! Shane, retreat!
But Sovi...
He'll catch up later. Let's not do anything stupid.
Shane nods and they start to run away. They were cornered near the tunnel, so it was an easy escape. Ulrich and Pro slowly march over, standing by their pirate allies.
What should we do? Should we chase after them, Ulrich?
No, let them go. We can't risk being led into another trap. They hit us too hard. We need to mitigate the damage.
They nod and back down.
We're a team now. We're here to help. If there's anything you need us to do, just say it. We owe Damek everything. He changed Mazeo's future.
Thank you, Alex. I have a feeling there's a lot of work to do. But before that, let's take care of the honor guard.
Roger that.
They all turn to face the suits of armor, but they're shocked. The honor guard remains perfectly still, not moving an inch. The continued shaking of the ground causes them to fall over. Hitting the ground, they shatter into pieces like an army of glass. A bright flash of white light emanates from the crew quarters. Along with that, the earth trembles more intensely.
What's going on?
It must have something to do with the idol.
But they said Sovi was down there.
I think I saw Agrias carry Damek and the Seer down there. Sylvie wouldn't want this to happen. So that means
They're still alive!
they must be. Come on, let's go. Alex, man the tunnels.
You got it.
They start running towards the war room, but don't make it very far. Ulrich stops in his tracks and notices movement in the corner of his eyes. Valessa and Fortam, they were moving. They must have survived.
Wait, hold on. Bro, look.
Ulrich points that they both made their way to Valessa and Fortam. Crouching down, Pro offers his hand to Valessa and Ulrich to Fortam. They help them get to their feet, and they look shaken and traumatized.
What happened? How did you survive that?
He was totally convinced that you died. I can't believe your luck. I'm surprised.
They both look at the ground, almost as if they're ashamed.
I thought they were going to kill us. But they didn't. I don't really know what happened.
They didn't attack us. They pushed us to the ground. It's almost like they wanted us to stay out of harm's way.
Yeah, we wouldn't have stood a chance in combat. I don't know why they wanted to help, but they did.
I think I know. Never mind.
She quickly changes the subject.
Where's the seer? Ulrich, take us to see him.
Right, of course. They must be by the spirit idol. Damek too, it's not that far. Follow me.
Deciding not to question Providence, they all follow Ulrich. In a time like this, it was best not to doubt your blessings. However, Valessa remains a few paces behind, thinking.
Mom? Dad? Thank you.
My vision slowly fades back then, much to my surprise. I've been on the verge of death for what seemed like an eternity. I'm strong. My will and the power inside me refuse to give in. Pain radiates from the wound in my chest, but I'm almost getting used to it. Sovi's attempts to make it more fatal had clearly failed. Or did they? I remember the thought I had in my mind the moment I faded away. I wanted to be saved. I wanted to make it through this alive. Could the blade have that much power? Could it have saved me? I backed myself against the wall and lay against it. Then I scanned the room. Wait, what's that? A hulking shadow is on the other side of the room, whispering to itself. But Damek's body is still on the floor. Who could that be? I look at the exit to the room. It's still caved in. Impossible. There was no one else in this room with us. The ears perk up. They must have heard my movements. Quickly turning to face me, they take heavy, slow steps. Stumbling from side to side, it's almost like they can't balance. I can't see their face. My vision is too blurry. But when they made it to my location, they kneel down. While normally I would be frightened, I seem to feel at ease. They reach forward and place a hand on my chest. I hadn't realized it, but in my confusion, the pain had stopped. Or was it even there to begin with? Maybe I just felt it in my head. They let go and shook their head dismissively. A flicker of light from the dying idol illuminates their face. When I see them, I ask who they are, but I get no straight answer.
Gaze into the abyss. After a lifelong journey, and plead. Beg for the answer to your most undying question. And tell me, what would frighten you most? Being left in silence, or hearing an answer?
I don't understand, and I shake my head. But something tells me they look familiar to me. I'm too delirious to think straight, though this thought goes nowhere. Either way, get a feeling... Scars? I get a feeling that this might be our new party member. I like the, dichromatic eyes. One purple, one red. And also, I think he's cool. I like the fur he has on his triceps. Either way, is that your tricep? It's certainly not your bicep.
The pursuit of an answer is more defining than the answer itself. For no truth can compare to the truth we've conjured in our head. Hearing an answer may rob us of purpose. We prefer silence. But sometimes, the silence can be maddening. We can convince ourselves that purpose is not important, self-destructive. Purpose breeds strength and victory. We desire victory.
He stands up and holds out his hand. I grab it and he pulls me to my feet. This is the first time I truly see him. He's covered in scars from head to toe, almost as if he endured torture, or something far worse. Tattoos adorn his arm, much like those on Ulrich's body. Who was this?
We need no name. A name defines an individual. We are many, and therefore cannot be defined. This body is merely a tool. It bends to our will.
Can we call you Legion then?
We know how confused you are. It's always the same. Come with me. There's still much we need to do. Domic, right? That's the name of your leader?
Yes. He turns around and looks at Domic's body.
You said that name in your sleep. You called out to him, but only we responded. He lives. We took care of that while you slept.
He's alive? He's alive! I look over and watch his chest move up and down. He's breathing. I'm almost in disbelief at this. What happened?
We will tell you both. There is much to discuss. With the exit cut off, we have sufficient time. A funny concept time. Perhaps another day.
You sound like an edgelord, but are you some kind of healer? We walk over to Domic and the mystery man takes slow steps again. His limbs appear stiff, as if they've been unused for a long time. I kneel down and shake Domic softly, placing my hand on his shoulder.
He should have been awake by now. His wounds were grievous. He was saved. We were limited, but we did what we could. Rise.
He says this in a demanding tone and Domic starts to move. His eyes slowly open, and he looks at both of us as he comes to.
Sailors? Am I dead? What's going on?
Salus? I laugh softly and tell him he's not dead. But he seems to have me confused with Salus.
Salus.
Wait. His eyes are fixated on the mystery man as he says the name. Takes a few steps back, confused and scared at the same time. Could it possibly be? No, there's no way. This makes no sense.
How are you alive? How am I alive?
This isn't right. Salus was dead. Our old elder, the rebellion's founder. That's Salus? Domic's predecessor?
Salus, the name of this vessel. He no longer lives. Do not use this name. As we said before, no name is required.
Okay, well that's absolutely creepy. So you're saying that you're like a legion of spirits possessing a possessing Salus's corpse? The heck?
We simply exist.
Damek and I look at one another, utterly confused.
Please explain. I don't understand.
The man points to the center of the room.
You will have a seat. You may be satisfied. Or perhaps not. We have some answers, but not all of them.
I reach down and help Damek out. He grunts. There are wounds on his abdomen. There's nothing. Oh, no wounds on his abdomen. This would require some serious explanation and fast. I take Damek over to the center of the room and we sit down. The other man, however, walks over to the exit and inspects it.
Trapped, as always. Do you trust your comrades? We think they are your only hope.
If they survived...
Yes.
He walks over to our location and sits down. Guess all we could do was wait to get rescued. The Rebel HQ was full of digging tools after all.
You will ask, and we may answer.
Huh. Okay. He sits in silence and waits for us to make our next move.
Who are you?
The idol is no more. Its energy was released. It may still glow, but it will soon go dim. Lifeless. Energy must be stored somewhere. Less wasteful.
So in other words, you're the idol.
Much of it went into that sword you carry. Some of it was used to heal your wounds. The rest? Well, we found a vessel to use.
A vessel?
Oh yeah, didn't Damek say that he buried Salus next to the idol? Oh god.
This body expired long ago. It offered no resistance and no identity. We thought it would be fitting. We desired a voice.
Who is we?
We are what you call the spirit realm. Until now, our power was stored only in objects. That, and vessels which had their own voice, like you.
He looks at me.
So, let me get this straight. The power released from the idol healed us, and it took over Salus's body so it could talk.
That's what it sounds like.
Correct.
So, I'm talking to the spirit realm right now.
A portion. The rest resides in his body and the sword. However, the spirit realm is just a term you created to define us. We are more than that, and we finally have a voice in your world.
What else then? Damek gulps, getting a bit frightened.
Are you peaceful?
I hope so.
That is a relative term.
Are you going to hurt us?
No.
What is your purpose?
An impossible question. Do you know your purpose?
No, I guess not.
We only wish to aid you. Please do not question. It would please us greatly to see the triumvirate fall. We are their victims, just as much as you are, Damek.
Victims?
You do not know the truth of what we are. It is understandable, because we could never tell. Using this voice, we wish to make our suffering known. And using this body, we wish to enact our vengeance. If this is acceptable, we will join you after rescue. If rescue comes, that is. Until then, we talk.
Damek nods. He's taking this very well, actually. Yeah, surprisingly well. I mean, after all, he's only seen his former leader's reanimated corpse. After all, he's talking to the corpse of his former leader. Yeah. But Atreus just needed to adapt to change and overcome it. Good point. Or maybe he's just numb to the trauma of these events?
Of course, but you need to explain. What is the truth of the spirit realm? Were we so wrong that you needed a voice?
We do not blame you for your interpretation. Given your situation, it made perfect sense. But yes, you were wrong. Very wrong.
Me and Dominic look at each other once more. I never believed this if we didn't just cheat death. But given the circumstances, we can't deny the truth. This was a living embodiment of the spirit realm, much like the idols, but able to walk and talk as well. And if that was the case, then there were no more secrets. It would tell us everything about the spirit realm. The undying questions of our history, finally answered. What was their purpose? And why did they influence us? Well, they said that they didn't have a purpose. Or at least they don't know their purpose. The answers would change everything. Forever. Eventually ending up in the war room, everyone looks around frantically. Wasn't much longer until they noticed the back corner of the room was caved in. Rather than digest the current events, they searched for Dominic and the Seer.
They must be down with the idol.
Can we even get down there?
Go back to the crew quarters, Fortin. You too, Valessa. Bring us some equipment. We should be able to reach them if we dig.
Of course. What should we look for?
Pickaxes, shovels, stuff like that. Anything to help us get through that rubble.
Right.
They both run off in search of supplies. It was clear the tunnels caved in, but how bad was it? They cling on to the hope that everybody survived.
Hey, are you sure you don't want to join them? Shouldn't they have some sort of protection?
No, everything will be fine. Alex and his forces are on guard. Nobody else will be coming or going.
Then what about Sovi? Do you think he's down there?
No, he's probably long gone.
But I didn't see him run off anywhere. We were all in the tunnels, weren't we?
That's the point, Pro. You don't see a man like him. He comes and goes as he pleases.
Oh, okay.
He crosses his arms, both confused and concerned.
What should we do while we wait? Are you sure you don't want me to help them?
I'm certain. We need to talk, Pro.
About what?
Let's say Dominic did fall in combat. What would we do then? What's our next step?
I don't want to think about that. Losing Salus was more than enough. I'm sure he's alive. We'll find him.
But what if he's not? We need to think, Pro. Things would be in our hands.
Our hands?
Yes. We'd be the new leaders. How would we come back from this?
I don't know if we can.
That's why I sent those two away. I don't think they'd be ready to hear this. There's a very real chance that the Seer is dead. If that's the case, then there's nothing we can do. We'd never be able to win this war conventionally. That blade in their power was all we had, Pro.
I don't know, Ulrich, but I feel like they're alive. They wouldn't give in so easily.
I guess we'll find out.
And we need to trust in the spirits, right? They showed Dominic a vision of our victory.
But they also showed Valenorth's destruction. We know that was false. They attacked our HQ instead.
Are you saying the spirits were lying?
I don't know, Pro. It's too complicated for me to say. But something tells me that we can't trust the spirits anymore. If they come out from that tunnel, it'll be as changed men.
The mysterious man takes a deep breath before starting to talk. Dominic and I sit forward in awe, almost in disbelief of the situation. The spirit realm was using the vessels to speak directly to us. I'm not sure if we should be honored or terrified.
The rulers of this world, the Triumvirate, already you take up arms against them. This is good. We were unable to do so in our current state. We were trapped.
Trapped?
It all happened in the blink of an eye. Our glorious monarchy, destroyed in an instant. They showed no mercy. They showed nothing. Something happened. Something beyond words. We were simply living life, and then we were not. They forced us to watch them defile our world.
I don't understand.
Neither do we. But that is what happened. They stole our future. And our bodies. We were prisoners, bound by celestial chains as they had their way with our world.
So they didn't create Alestia?
No. But they created you, the new residents of Alestia, built in their image of perfection to counter our corrupt nature. They stole our world and our future, handing it off to you.
Okay. So the Triumvirates are technically our gods, but did not create the world. Rather, they stole the world and created us to replace the ones they killed. Huh.
This is incredible.
We do not share the same opinion.
Yeah, I don't think the spirits would, considering that the Triumvirate killed all of them. At supposedly the obviously prehistory. That would explain why we didn't have any records. It's simply because we didn't exist before the Triumvirates. The spirits did, but we did not.
No, I meant the story. I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. We always knew there was more to this world.
This is why we needed a voice. We've suffered for eternities, unable to speak, forced to watch, and cry for help upon deaf ears.
I have a few questions.
Of course.
So, the spirit realm is more like a prison, and it held you and your people captive? Huh. Then what are these visions and idols all about? Almost all of our culture has been built around them, especially Valinor, which is where the seer comes from. Rumor has it that the Triumvirate wanted to destroy the idols.
Over time, we were forced to adapt. We changed. The idols are manifestations of our desire to reach out. They gave us the ability, however minimal, to speak with you.
The visions, you mean?
Yes, but our power was limited, and we were censored. This is why we could never tell you the truth through visions. Whenever we did, the Triumvirate made you see something else.
That's what they did this time then? We saw Valinor getting attacked and strategized about that. But it seems like their plan was always to attack us down here.
Indeed, which is why we chose not to create another idol. Instead, we chose to influence the members of their honor guard, the barracks, the living quarters, the weapons. We did it all for you. We did it so you would survive this trap and help us seek vengeance. It seems the cost was dire, but we succeeded. We shall succeed again. We wish to aid your assault on Balteus and take back our homeland.
So you come from Balteus?
We lived all over Alestia, but Balteus was our capital. The castle there housed the monarch, our king or queen. We may have been corrupt, but we lived in peace. We were happy.
What do you mean by corrupt?
We are not certain. Perhaps there is inherent evil in all of us. The Triumvirate deemed that a flaw, and rewrote the world. When your kind was first made, you were mindless slaves, forced to carry out the Triumvirate's bidding. No free will. That is a gift we gave to you through the idols we created. Slowly, our corruption merged with the purity of your kind. That was the first step. After that, we created seers, beings capable of hearing our plight and leading insurrections. To this day, all have failed. We were not strong enough.
Wait, I know where this is going.
The man stands up, motioning his arms to suggest we do the same. Dominic and I both do as instructed, dusting ourselves while we look up at him.
Yes. That is why we gave the Seer all of our power. Enough to wield that blade against your creators and our captors. The timing seemed correct. It is a gamble, but with favorable odds. However, there is another matter at hand. There is no more spirit realm. The idols are all gone, and the power resides within us and that blade. The power within you, Seer, is immense. You carry on our legacy. So now, I will call you what you are.
He immediately kneels down and looks at the floor. If I wasn't mistaken, it looks like he's swearing fealty.
Rightful heir to the throne of the monarchy, my king. I will serve you in this fight to take back our world. And together, we will all be free from their grip.
Okay, all this time I was certain that we would be serving the spirits, but nope! Turns out that the spirits are now serving us, in exchange for their freedom. Great! This is it's not like I didn't have enough pressure on my hands.
King?
We exchanged glances, confused and shocked. The power inside of me made me heir to the throne? Knowing the truth of the spirits was enough, but this? This is too much. I take a few steps back, overwhelmed. How could I possibly be expected to process this?
Maybe we should slow down here.
We must not. To slow down would be giving them time. They've had enough. We've watched for far too long. The weight of our kind is upon you. Do not let us down.
Before I can even react, I hear a sound from the other side of the room. The rubble that blocked the exit started to crumble and fall to the ground. I can hear the harsh impact of the pickaxe. They found us. The man remains knelt on the ground. I tell him to rise. He obeys without question, clearly respecting my authority. He considers me his king. I have no idea what to do or say.
As you command.
All of us turn and look at the exit. It isn't much longer until light pierces through. The final bit of rubble is out of the way, and Ulrich emerges.
Domek, we were so worried that you...
He immediately stops in his tracks, staring at us. Clearly he's shocked at the sight of Solace. Fartem, Velessa, and Pro enter shortly after.
What?
Ulrich steps forward, immediately cautious. He looks ready to grab his blade at a moment's notice. I can understand how his confusion and shock manifests this way.
At ease, Ulrich. I'll try my best to explain.
Domek steps forward too, as if to guard both of us.
Everybody, let's go back to the atrium. There's much to discuss, and I'll tell you all the truth.
He looks over at the mysterious man and simply gulps.
Things just got a lot more complicated. For all of us.
We all enter the atrium, and I notice Ulrich is visibly shocked and angry. Pro seems the same, however it's less intense. They seem to recognize Solace. Even Velessa and Fartem seem anxious. Our old and very dead elder, alive? Bodies scatter the floor, as well as the pieces of white and gold armor. Rebels cry, cradling the bodies of their fallen comrades in their arms. There weren't many people left standing. This was a catastrophic attack. Troop morale has fallen to 0%. The price of faith. Domek walks over to a nearby staircase and waves over me and Solace. We follow after him. We slowly ascend the stairs. It was time to tell everybody. When we get to the top, he rests his hands on the railing, taking a deep breath.
I guess this is it. Where do I even start?
He shakes his head before clearing his throat. He had a lot of ground to cover. The noise echoes through the atrium, and the surviving rebels turn to look. Seeing Dominic at the top of the stairs, they gather to listen to their leader.
They say that mercy is the mark of a great man. But there are no great men in war. We've seen that here today. War is only a game to see how much you can lose before giving up. But trust me, we will never give up. Join me, brothers and sisters. Grab a blade from the floor, even if it belonged to their honor guard. Take it. I'd prefer that. The Triumvirate may think they've crippled our resolve, but no. Each swing of that blade will carry the weight of our fallen comrades behind it. We will use that weight to crush their army and make them pay for this attack.
More rebels start to crowd around, looking up at Dominic. They have smiles on their faces, and they nod along to his words. This inspires him to continue his speech, his morale rising quickly.
When the Triumvirate looks down on that blade in their final moments, I want them to know that they sealed their own fate. Mark my words, family. The Triumvirate shall fall. They will burn for what they've done here today. And in the end, they will beg for the mercy they were too unkind to give to us. We will free this world from their grip and deliver it to the hands of the righteous. Our dynasty will be marked with blood, yes, but theirs was marked with far more.
He looks over at Celes and motions for him to step forward. Doing so, a lot of the rebels look shocked, much like Ulrich and Pro.
The Spirit Realm has given us one final blessing. The truth. Standing here before you is not Celes. He has become a vessel. This is the Spirit Realm embodied, powered by our underground idol. Driven by the howls of countless spirits, he seeks vengeance. But he has also brought with him the answers to our every question. No longer shall we live in the dark. We know the true nature of things.
Everyone mumbles among themselves, clearly confused. Glance over at Ulrich and Pro, and they seem a bit more calm. As odd as the truth was, they seem to trust Dominic no matter what.
We are not the only victims of the Triumvirate's wrath. The Spirit Realm is not what we believed. Not at all. What we cherished and worshipped was a prison. A prison to house the previous residents of Alestia. Residents that were deemed too corrupt by the Triumvirate. As they were pushed aside, we were created to serve. The Triumvirate did not create our world, but they did create us in the image of perfection. We were pure and existed only to follow their every order. But over time, the previous residents reached out from their prison. Growing in strength, they created what we called the Spirit Idols. These were used to slowly give our people the gift of free will. Though pure, we lacked the abilities to be ourselves. This was the greatest gift we could ever ask for. They opened our eyes, allowing us to fight back. But so far, every insurrection has failed. This is what we will change, thanks to the Seer.
He waves me over and I take a few steps forward. The rebels stare at me, with hope in their eyes. A perfect counter to the despair I saw earlier.
You see, the Spirit Realm is no more. All of the energy in that realm has found a new home. Some of it is in this vessel, and some of it is in the blade. But the largest portion resides within the Seer. That is why he is uniquely capable of wielding the blade. Alestia's previous residents, the ancient monarchy, are responsible. They saw a way to help us defeat the Triumvirate and took it. But you see, we no longer fight for ourselves. We fight for everybody. If we lose, both us and the monarchy perish. We cannot let this happen. We are the only people capable of carrying out this objective. There won't be another chance. No more Seers, no more blades. We will show them that their vision of a pure world is flawed. But in order to do so, I must step down as the general. You see, this army is no longer mine to lead. I'm sorry. This new truth changes both the world and our cause.
Dominic motions to me to come closer. So do I. So I do. He smiles. Standing right beside him, resting my hands on the banister. I see such a wide array of emotions coming from the rebels' faces.
As I mentioned, the seer was blessed with immense power. But what he truly has within is the souls of the monarchy, giving him the strength to use that blade. He is our champion. But he is more than just our champion. He is our king, rightful heir to the throne of Alestia, our true ruler. By decree of the spirits, we are his to command.
All eyes are on me now. I glance over at Valessa and Fortam. They're in complete shock and awe of this revelation, but I am too. Without saying anything, I reach back for the blade and pull it out. I look at the rebels and hold the blade up in the air. The beams of light from the surface serve to illuminate its beauty. This elicits righteous applause from the rebels as they cheer me on. Troop morale has risen by 5%. Inauguration. I smile, looking down at my friends and comrades. In this moment, it seems like hope we lost had finally returned. There was still a lot to take care of, but we knew this wasn't over.
If you'll excuse us, we need to make some new plans. But I'll have an itinerary posted in the barracks by morning. Until then, please do your best to clean up this atrium. And please, bring the bodies down to the spirit idol. It seems only fitting, and there's plenty of room. With that said, you're all dismissed. Thank you.
Dominic turns and faces me and Silas. He smiles, realizing his job is done.
Well then, back to the war table. We need to talk about our next step. Without a bigger army, we won't win. And I think I know what to do. Come on, bring your friends too. I'll grab Ulrich and Pro. Let's do this.
Something seems different about Dominic. He's not as happy and energetic as he was before, but he seems a lot more confident and resolute. When I get to the bottom of the stairs, Valessa and Fortam appear. I can tell they are overwhelmed, but they're also happy for me. They seem to disregard the resurrection of Salus and focus on me.
I always knew you were special, but a king? And no more spirit realm. What's going to happen?
That is so cool, Seer! Or, I guess I should call you King now. Or maybe Monarch? I don't know, it's just cool!
He laughs and shovels in place awkwardly. They may not want to talk about it, but they know. Everything feels off right now. Things are so confusing.
I hope that we can work all of this out. Let's go plan our next move with Dominic. I wonder what he has in mind for us.
I bet it's something amazing. He might not be the leader, but he's still a strategist. We need to make sure that we come back from this loss.
Valessa looks at all the bodies in the atrium floor. It's also covered in blood, likely to stain for a long time. If Salus could come back from the dead, what would happen? Well, then what about them?
Yeah, we can't let their deaths be in vain. Like Dominic said, they need to give us strength. The only thing we can do is hope that it's enough.
We all arrive at the war table, take in sighs of relief. Dominic's speech was great. It helped the rebels find hope again. But they need more than words to win the upcoming battle.
So, we need to find a new army. But recruiting Mazaeans would take far too long. We need to take drastic measures and fast. This is where my initial plan comes into play. We can use that spiritual energy to create seers. They could see the outcome of every battle, every attack.
That doesn't make any sense, Dominic. Visions lied to the king, led us into a trap. The Triumvirate could just do that all over again.
I notice he uses my new title. Still feels odd.
I'm not sure that's how it works. Beforehand, the visions came from their prison. That means the Triumvirate could tamper with the outflow. But now, all of that is in the hands of the king. There's nothing more getting in the way, see what I mean? The power of the spirit realm is now ours to wield, Ulrich.
That still doesn't make any sense. The spirit realm isn't what we thought it was, Damek. It was just a prison. How can that help us tell the future?
Before Damek could respond, Salas steps forward.
That was our culture. We all had this ability. It is how the monarchy lived in peace and prosperity. There was no danger left unchecked. No chance. The world was being guided to the one true future. It is not unlike the concept of fate that some believe in, but it is tangible. We knew where we were going. Always.
Did you know that you were going to be overthrown by the Triumvirate?
That is why the Triumvirate was such a shock to us. An unknown variable in a future we completely mapped out. It was too late to adapt. We were already shackled. We slowly learned to lend our foresight to your world. However, we were only strong enough to help one individual. This is the concept you have learned to call the Seer, or Seeress. Damek's theory is sound. There is no longer any interference. The source of this power is now the king, rather than a prison. He can freely give this power to any individual he pleases.
Can he give it to himself?
We would not recommend this course of action. Every vision he induces would reduce his overall strength. It would whittle away at the monarchy, slowly killing us all. Furthermore, he does not know how to ration this power. He could end up expending almost all of it with a single vision. We would recommend giving a small portion of power to others. However, they would be rendered useless after this war. Using this power would be too much for their mind.
Useless?
They would be unable to think for themselves, or at all. The king could only do this because he grew up with that power. Just like our culture. To receive it too late can wreak havoc on the mind.
So they'd just sit around until they died?
Unless you fed them.
There must be another way. Just look in front of you. That energy could be used to bring back the forces we lost. We could create more vessels for the monarchy. More soldiers.
Ulrich was right. There's more than one choice here. Wouldn't it be right to condemn our people to a zombie-like existence? Their minds died out after the war. They have no victory to enjoy.
We would not advise this action. We can barely maintain this form. The wounds that ended Salas are burning, as if freshly inflicted. It is only tolerable because of the immense power within us. Lesser beings would be feeling eternal pain, and death does not come easily to a vessel like this. Wounds endured during the war would add to this pain. We would not wish this punishment upon anybody. Life in eternal pain, a constant memory of their own death. They perished for your cause. Give them the rest they deserve.
I don't know. An army of seers would be great for strategizing, but stealing their own future from them? That's wrong. On the other hand, bringing back the dead? I'm unsure.
True. Neither of this seems very, well, good.
The pain would fuel their rage and make them stronger. They could eventually learn to manage it with medicine. At least they'd have a future. The Seers certainly wouldn't.
There must be something else we can do.
Not if you wish to make use of this power. It is powerful when used, but limited in scope. I will help the king carry out whichever he decides.
So either create an army of seers, but doom them to become mindless, completely mindless afterward, or use it to revive the dead, but have them suffer.
Right, I guess it's not my place to choose. Sorry, I must be still adjusting to this change.
Suddenly all eyes were upon me. I have no idea what to say or do. Eternal pain or robbing futures. Neither of them sound great. Creating seers would ruin their mind after the war. They just sit in a chair while we fed them to remain alive. Basically, they'd be vegetables. But an army of vessels? They feel nothing but excruciating pain. And not even death would come to free them from that pain. The body could get ravaged, but the power would still be inside. If only it were possible to cure them of this pain after the war was over. Or for that matter, I wish it were possible to preserve the seers' minds. But neither option has a foreseeable cure. This is a choice involving the war. We needed an immediate boost in forces, and it seemed that no cost was too high. What should I do?